Hello guys and welcome back. Last week's episode got cancelled because of the political landscape, and I was convinced that Trey and Matt had to change a few things at the very last second, which meant I was expecting something very special for this week. And I have got to say, they delivered. South Park just dropped the best episode of the entire season, and I will explain exactly why in this video. The episode goes very deep, and if my theory is right, they are setting us up for the most epic political plot in South Park history. Some of you commented on my last video worried that South Park was being censored. Well, because Trey and Matt just proved why they are still the best in the game. They never shied away from politics. But this week, they went straight for the most dangerous topic of all. And even I have to be careful just talking about it here. South Park clearly heard the feedback about the low-hanging Trump jokes and came back swinging with glorious political satire.
Another present for the baby? What about me?
The sharp yet ridiculous kind that only this show can deliver. We got another strike at the global glorification of gambling. Trump's insane attack on free speech.
I'm afraid he may lose his freedom of speech.
JD Vance's secret evil agenda.
Kyle's mom.
Flying to Israel to confront the untouchable Netanyahu himself. And yeah, that's just the ending, because as always with South Park, the journey is even crazier than the destination. So trust me, you do not want to miss this one. So let's rewind. We start off with the boys arguing whether the guest speaker is a boy or a girl.
You guys, is that a chick or a dude? It's a chick. Nah, that's a dude, bro.
Introducing the newest trend. Gambling on everything.
Bad news! They're called prediction market apps. Controversial online betting that's found a loophole around normal gambling laws.
It's a direct hit at the current culture where lots of YouTubers and streamers have blown up by gambling their entire life away.
God, oh my god, $32,000 on black.
From betting their rent on black.
Big!
To the amount of tweets that Elon Musk will make in a period of time. As Cartman reads through the bets, Kyle suddenly hears one that makes him snap. A bet about his mom.
Will Kyle's mom strike Gaza and destroy a Palestinian hospital?
Obviously, because of her ethical background. That sets off a chain reaction. Kyle starts calling the company to get the bet taken down, insisting that it's anti-Semitic.
Hello?
But of course, when it comes to this stuff, you just get the runaround. He's tossed from one desk to another like a hot potato, talking to one useless idiot after another.
In China, we call that hot potato.
Hello?
This is the same fucking guy.
And yes, that is Donald Trump Jr. because, of course, now everybody is a strategic advisor. Eventually, it makes its way to the head of the FCC, Brendan Carr. And at this point, I'm starting to think South Park really doesn't like him. Because throughout the entire episode, Carr is the punching bag for Trump's policies. It's visualized as the villain from Home Alone getting wrecked by every single trap set up at the White House. Trump is trying his best to get rid of all the responsibilities that comes with having a baby, when he realizes the baby will limit his free time spent golfing.
No more baseball games. No more traveling. No more long nights at Mar-a-Lago.
And it ends with Brandon in the hospital, frozen in a Roman salute, with the dire consequences of losing his free speech.
If the toxoplasmosis parasite gets to his brain, I'm afraid he may lose his freedom of speech.
Which obviously is a reference to the Jimmy Kimmel situation, where Carr has been kind of the victim trying to adhere to all the wishes of Trump, putting him in this terrible dictatorial situation. In case you haven't followed the situation, it's about the president who was crying about being censored on social media is now using his administration to try and censor speech for other people who are exercising their freedom of speech. You can agree, you can disagree, you can find the take to be distasteful, but eventually Having the ability to exercise your freedom of speech is the ground foundation of the Western society. So when it comes to these hate speech laws, they are very dangerous. We can all agree that some speech is dangerous, it's destructive, but if those in power can decide what is hateful, then hate speech will basically just be anything against their agenda. So the right will say that the left is hateful, and the left will say that the right is hateful. Therefore, you can start censoring the opponent. And that is how we end up in North Korea's state policies where only one point of view is allowed, and I don't think we want that. Which brings us to the entire event of Trump throughout the entire episode, trying to get this abortion going. So he's seeing at the White House, scheming, inviting Satan out for cigarettes in the hot tub, hoping a little accident might do the trick. And when that doesn't work, well, he moves on to try pushing Satan down the slippery stairs.
Just come down the stairs real quick.
Because apparently a cartoon slapstick is his next best option for family planning. Well, still no luck. This is where he gets creative. He's cooking up a soup loaded up with Plan B pills, as if slipping emergency contraception into a dinner is somehow a master plan. And finally, in peak South Park absurdity, we see Trump gathering up cats. Why cats, you may ask? Well, because he's banking on toxoplasmosis, the parasite found in cat feces that can cause miscarriages. Well, the president of the United States of America is trying to weaponize cat poop against his unborn child. Yes, of course, every single attempt fails. Satan is still pregnant, Trump is still panicking, and the whole sequence becomes this perfect metaphor for how far he will go just to avoid the responsibility when it threatens his lifestyle. We're back to Cartman, and of course, he sees an opportunity to cash in.
It's called a conflict of interest, you guys. It's a way to make free money. Isn't that illegal? Yes.
He starts spreading the word that maybe, just maybe, Kyle's mom will do something about the bet. And like wildfire, the rumor spreads. Before long, it escalates to the point where even her own friends are asking her opinion. Not because they care what she thinks, no, because they want to know where to put their money. And it's South Park at its sharpest. It's directly calling out this ridiculous idea that every Jewish person has to take a stand for or against what is happening in the Middle East when they have no affiliation with it at all. And in classic Sheila fashion, the ultimate Karen, she doesn't just ignore it, laugh it off. No, she grabs a bag and is seen flying straight to the source of the problem. And this is where the most dangerous political topic of South Park history is introduced. It's the kind of thing that has gotten a lot of people cancelled, silenced, and even debanked in the real world just for talking about. Because South Park takes a direct aim at Benjamin Netanyahu. His setup is simple, but it's super powerful once you understand how the world truly works. Sheila is so sick of all the bets. She's sick of being dragged into something she never asked for. And she does what only a true South Park Karen would do. And here's where the satire gets razor sharp. The show is pointing out the insane pressure put on the average Jewish people worldwide. The idea that no matter where you live, you're somehow forced to take a stand either for or against whatever Israel is doing at any given moment. And who's painting as the one creating the pressure? Well, Bibi himself, the untouchable prime minister. It's bold, it's dangerous, and it's exactly why so many people shy away from even touching this subject. Because the moment you criticize Netanyahu, well, suddenly you are painted as something far worse. But South Park, well, they don't care. They'll take the risk and flip the narrative upside down, showing that the real absurdity is forcing everyday people into a conflict they have nothing to do with. And finally, we have this tiny clip of JD Vance with Brendan Carr, which I actually think is the most important clip of the entire episode and of the entire season so far.
I'm next in line to be president. That baby cannot be born. And if you continue to interfere, I will make things very difficult for you.
Ever since Satan had this little box talking about this destructive future that this information was in the box would carry out into the real world. A lot of conspiracies has been around what was in the box. We then realized, well, It was this pregnancy stick. And this is where the conspiracy gets really dark and really deep. And very exciting for the future, because if my theory is right, I think this is the hint of the most epic political plot ever in South Park history. Because what could possibly be with this baby that would be in the way of JD Vance getting his way into the White House in the future? Well, I think that it's not a real baby. It is something very destructive, something very evil, that Trump would literally try everything in his power to get rid of, just to make it go away, to people to stop asking questions, for the news just to disappear. And do you know any other thing happening in real life? Well, he's just trying to tell everybody just to stop talking about it and not thinking about it anymore. I think you know where I'm going with this. And I'm actually thinking about making an entire video just to go deep down this rabbit hole. Let me know in the comments down below if that is something you are thrilled for me to get into, and I will happily make that video, because I think there's so much to dig up from here, and I think that would be fun. So, my thoughts on the episode. Well, as I said in the beginning, I thought it was amazing. It's straight up amazing. In one of my last videos, I kind of complained a bit about the South Park humiliation of Trump. I find it funny, but it was just the same joke over and over again. This time, they took on a new perspective. They made fun of him in a new way at his entire administration. And it was just a episode just packed with great entertainment, great humor, and I just loved every part of it. And I think it's setting us up for the most epic story ever. That extra week was totally worth it. They hit on the freedom of speech, which of course the Charlie murder was a direct attack on freedom of speech. If you like him or not, well, he should be able to talk, and you should be able to silence him with arguments, not with weapons. So let me know, what did you think about the episode in the comments down below? Do you want me to dig deep into this Satan baby conspiracy? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the channel, you can support me with comments, with likes, with subscribes, but your viewership is more than enough for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one.